What's going on, YouTube? We are in SF right now, and I'm going to be shooting some street photography, but I have the Voigtlander Bessa R2A with my 35mm color scope bar, but I'm going to be shooting a special film here, and this film was actually sent over by my boy Tyler Jasper. Instagram here is TM_Jasper. He sent over this roll of film for me, and I'm going to shoot it. So we got some really nice words, but we also got some really dope film right here. This is Kodak, or not Kodak, is it Kodak yet? Kodak Vision 3 500T. So I'm gonna load this up into the Bessa, and then we're gonna go ahead, head out and shoot some photos. Let's get it. One of the goals that I'm going to try to do today is go out there with kind of a win a grand mindset, capturing faces, people out on the streets, but I'm also going to try my best to also incorporate personal style. I'm shooting color film, and you guys know for sure that I shoot a lot of black and white film. So it's going to be a struggle kind of finding that in between for both, but I think it's going to work out. Also, it's my birthday. Where you guys from? Gotta be kidding me. All right. I think my camera is dead, and I'm on shot number 13. I'm gonna try to figure this out real quick. I don't know what the hell this is, but we're at Walgreens. I'm about to buy some batteries. All right, you guys, so we are back at the King James headquarters, and what I want to do really quick is at the end of this video, break it up into two different parts. The first part, I want to talk about Kodak Vision 3 500T, my experience shooting it, my experience developing it, just everything about the film. And then towards the end of the video, I want to talk about something extremely important to photographers, street photographers, portrait photographers, any photographer out there, and how important it is to accept the fact that you will not always make good pictures. So with that being said, let's get started with the Kodak Vision 3 500T. All right, first and foremost, I want to start off by saying Tyler Jasper, big shout out to you, TM Jasper on Instagram. I'm gonna leave his link right over here. He sent over a couple of rolls of this stuff, and I was blessed to go down to LA for the weekend with my family to go out there and shoot some street photography. And I basically took the Voigtlander Bessa and the Minolta X700. I've been told to shoot this stuff with a filter. And my mistake was I shot it with a yellow filter while I was down there, and it just didn't work out too great with this film. So here's some of the images that I took with that yellow filter. As you can see, it just looks really, really dull and really, really yellow. So most of the images that I took on that particular roll, I went ahead and just transferred them over and converted into black and white. So this is what it looks like now in black and white. As you can see, it does look a little better. That yellow is just killer. So I guess that's the first thing that I learned about this film right here. Use the appropriate filter, which is the 85B. It's an orange filter, kind of an orange looking filter. Don't use a yellow filter by mistake. Now, after we got back from LA, I went out to SF on Tuesday, which is actually my real birthday, May 29th. And Drew and I went out to shoot some street photography with this stuff. And I wanted to test out, as you guys seen previously in the clips down there, what this film can do without that filter. And I shot it at 200 ISO. Apparently, you can shoot this stuff at 800 because it's very similar to Cinestill 800T. I believe they're the same film, just the Vision 3 500T has the remjet still on it, opposed to the Cinestill where they already take that off. It's a tungsten-based film. So you can shoot it at 800 speed, or you can shoot it at 400, which people like Ed Pavez go ahead and suggest you do. And then TM Jasper actually recommended to me to shoot it in 200 speed. So that's what I did. I went out and I shot at 200 speed unfiltered. Now, you guys seen the images and how they looked. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. What do you think about how the film reacted with 200 speed? I did minor tweaks in post, editing a little bit of contrast and a little exposure, but not too much. So all of the color is the exact same. The renditioning of that stuff is what I got straight out of the Voigtlander SLR2A. Now, what I can say about the film so far is that I'm fairly impressed with the way the film renders the colors. It's just a really beautiful film straight out of the, I guess you could say, out of the tank or out of the scanner. They're not too saturated. So if you want to go ahead and play around with saturation, you might want to go ahead and bump that up just a little bit. But nonetheless, this film produces some really beautiful colors, and I just overall really like the way it looks. Now, I haven't tested it out in low light, and I know that Cinestill 800T is one of those films that everybody shoots with neon lights and low light and such. So that's something that I want to do in the future with the Kodak Vision 3 500T. But for now, the test with the daylight 200 speed, kind of just going out there and doing my own thing, it was successful. So I'm pretty happy with the results, but I do want to tamper around with the Vision 3 500T a little bit more before I go ahead and make a full in-depth review. So would I recommend picking some of this film up? Yes, I would, but just to give you guys a heads up, this film, like we said earlier, has remjet, so you need to be able to make sure to remove that while you develop. So if you develop at home, take the appropriate steps to go ahead and do so. There's tons of videos on YouTube. The simple way I do it is I go ahead and take baking powder, put in some water before you go ahead and develop, and kind of mix that up. And then after the developer and Blix, go ahead and take the film out of the tank, rub off the rest of the remjet in hot water, and then stabilize and dry. So that's kind of the way it is. If you go ahead and send your film out to a lab, just don't send the Vision 3 500T. They are not going to be too happy. You're going to ruin their developers. So just don't do that. All right. Now with the Vision 3 500T wrapped up, the thing that I really want to talk about here is something that is extremely important because myself, I've been struggling with this lately, and it's the feeling of not being able to create photos, not being able to make good photos. And you guys all know the feeling. You'll hit this stage in time in your photography where some of the photos that you take are incredible and they're beautiful, and sometimes you will stop taking photos for a second, you'll go on a break, and you'll come back and you feel like you can't make any photos, and you're in this creative rut, and it's kind of depressing. It's really sad to see that your quality of work kind of goes down. That's something that a lot of people need to realize, and just so that it can prevent them from making bad mistakes later down the road. I feel like a lot of photographers down themselves for that. They say, you know what, I'm not making good images anymore. Maybe I should just hang up the camera and not even, shoot any more photography. And it's absurd to think that way, because one of the things as photographers that we need to know is that we're never gonna be able to make a consistent, I guess you could say, high standard quality of work throughout our entire career. Some people will be able to, but some of others, like me, myself, and some of the other guys out there, especially when they're just starting out, their images won't be as great. And it might be a self-evaluation thing. You know, maybe you're like, you know, I had a great picture here 2 months ago, but now look at the photos that I'm trying to make. They're not as great. And it's kind of something that we have to let set into ourselves and just accept the fact. It's almost like you have to live with it, and you're not going to be able to take great photos all the time. Don't let that discourage you, because what will happen is one day you're going to go out and you're going to go ahead and create photo, and that photo is going to be a really, really good photo, and you're going to feel good about it again. And then there are going to be some days where you go out there and you're not going to make any photos at all. So the reality of it, you guys, is the only thing that I want you guys to take away from this is to always just go out there with your camera and make photos. Don't worry about if they're going to turn out good. Don't worry about if they're going to turn out bad, because in reality, the more you shoot, the higher percentage of chance you're going to be able to get more great photos. And that's the truth of it, right? You miss every shot you don't take. And that's something we all say in basketball. And it's really about going out there, taking risks, putting in the work, putting in the time with your camera, spending a lot of time with your camera, and, you know, just going out there and shooting. So folks, if you're not making really good images now, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel depressed. Everybody goes through this certain stage in photography, and I promise you it won't last long. My biggest tip for you guys is just to go out there, take your cameras and take as many pictures as you want, as many pictures as you can. Shoot till your heart's desire, because at the end of the day, the people who go out there and get good photos, they make photos because they're out there doing it. Just go out there and do it. And that's the only thing that I can offer for you guys in this situation. It's the only way you're gonna be able to get through it. Now, how do I feel about taking breaks? I feel like it's wonderful. Sometimes, like myself, I took a long break from street photography, if you guys didn't notice. And it's actually been really refreshing. And then I started reading up more books, started looking at books, and then that creative juice just started rushing through my body, and I went out there and wanted to take some images. So, you know, this is something that kind of only sparked an interest in making a video about this because of this particular video. I thought that going out in SF and shooting some portraits with, you know, a Winogrand mindset and just trying out new things, I'd be able to make some top of the line images, but I didn't. I was actually extremely, I don't want to say disappointed, but I wasn't happy with most of the photos that I took today, or in that video, I should say. So, you know, just keep that in mind, folks. You're not always going to make great images, but the more you go out there and the more, you know, pictures you take, you're going to have a greater percent outcome of making a better image. So that's going to wrap it up, folks. I hope you guys, you know, at least took something away from that. I know it was all over the place, but that's kind of the video that I have for you guys today. So thank you guys for watching another King Japes video. And as always, Benota gang. Yeah.